just to get this done, to win a division, get a 1 seed for the playoffs. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's all the hard work we put in this whole offseason and this season. And, it's all coming together. And it came together at the right time, got the big win, and now we're excited for the playoffs coming ahead.
The excitement we're seeing in the locker room right now, the locker room club right now, it seems like a microcosm of what we saw in the stadium today. You just speak a little bit to the energy that you felt from the fans today at Arrowhead?
I mean, you could feel it from the pregame warm-ups. I mean, it's special, and I say it every single time, but it is. It's truly special to be on that field and feel that energy, and I'm glad we get to go into the playoffs with those next home games.
I'm going to start with a small play that lit the fuse for the bigger plays, and that was you were 3rd and 10, opening drive. They sell a sellout blitz, and you find the sausage on a hot read.
Yeah, I mean, he says he's always open, and he always is. And so he did his chip block and got out, and I just dropped it off to him, and he made a guy miss, and it was a big play that got the thing rolling at the beginning of the game.
We've been around each other long enough. I know I'm going to ask this question. I think I know what the answer is going to be. Talking about individual records, performances, milestones, 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns. Only Peyton Manning's the only other quarterback to ever do that. When you hear those numbers, just what does it mean to you?
I mean, it's special. It really is special, but it's a credit to my teammates, and I truly believe that. I mean, they make a lot of those touchdowns off of really short passes that I just kind of put in their hands, and it helps that I have those guys around me. I have Coach Reed coaching me, and I'm excited now that we can carry that momentum into the playoffs.
And the 2 giant plays, I want to ask you the big one. First one, the 67-yarder to Tyreek. Anything special on that play? And then what about the big one to D-Rob?
Yeah, the first one, I mean, they kind of doubled Kels with the safety up top, and anytime you have Tyreek with a press man situation, you put it out there for him to go get it, and he did, and made a great play on the ball and scored. And then the one to D-Rob, he wasn't really supposed to do that, but you know how D-Rob is sometimes. He's open, he throws that hand up, I put it out there for him.
We know how big this win was, when you get the 1 seed, staying at home and all that, but just the way in which you guys won, what kind of message does that send to everybody else? The defense comes out and plays the way they did. Offense, you guys put up points again.
Yeah, I mean, we woke up. I mean, that's the biggest thing. We coming off the 2 losses, we've woken up. We know what every game means, what every play means, and we're going to have energy like that all the way through the playoffs and hopefully to the Super Bowl.
This is the Richard Smith Show, where we talk about all things Kansas City Chiefs. How are we doing, Chiefs Kingdom? It is January 1st, 2019, and what better way to bring in the New Year's than a Chiefs victory and a number 1 seed in the playoffs, which is extremely important this year. But let's look at this year. 2018 will be a year that will go down as the best offensive output in Chiefs history. Hands down, I don't believe anybody would put up an argument with that. With Mahomes, Kelsey, and Hill breaking franchise and league records, it's been an incredible year all around Kansas City. I just cannot say enough about this Chiefs team, and I'm excited to see them go into the playoffs. In a season where we watched a superstar in his first year take control of this team and land us in a position for a serious shot at a Super Bowl victory. I cannot say enough about Mahomes. This kid is brilliant. I feel like that there's now don't quote me on this, but I want to say that I feel like we have like a Jordan of football. It's a little bit different. Things with Mahomes process faster, quicker, and this kid is just relentless. This is a very, very special situation, and we should feel blessed in Chiefs Kingdom to be a part of this. Also, in a season where the Kansas City Chiefs went back-to-back AFC West Champs. I love that, love that, love that, love that. In a season, the Chiefs became the only team in NFL history to score at least 26 points in every single game. Huge accomplishment, huge accomplishment. I can't say enough about that. I mean, Kansas City, Chiefs Kingdom, if you're not floored about all of these huge, groundbreaking events that have gone down here with the Chiefs this season, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You couldn't ask for a more exciting, jam-packed season. Chiefs Kingdom watched the Chiefs go from a playoff team to a dynasty. I don't want to say potential because this is going to be a dynasty, folks. As long as everybody stays healthy, we're going to be just fine here for the next 5 to 7 years. This, hands down, was the most electrifying season in Chiefs history. And we've had some pretty good ones here as of late with the late Alex Smith doing his thing here in Kansas City. It's just this season, Kansas City was special. And that feeling that we had in the first 12 weeks of the season, I don't know about you all, but I got that feeling back on Sunday when we played the Raiders. We just absolutely dominated the Raiders in all aspects, and I feel like the Chiefs are back. We looked in sync, we looked healthy, we looked dominant. And I mean, Mahomes to start the game with an incredible pass to Sherman while being taken to the ground. He never looked back after that play. 3 plays later, Mahomes throws a 67-yard touchdown pass to Hill. And I believe that was the play that Hill broke the franchise record for receiving yards in one season. The very next drive was a fumble recovery by the Chiefs. I believe it was a running play, and handed the ball off, and he fumbled, and we fell on the ball. Unfortunately, we couldn't do anything with that possession, gave the ball back. But a couple plays later, Daniel Sorensen stepped in front of a Derek Carr pass that I believe was just thrown to Daniel Sorensen and took it all the way to the house, which really was the turning point in that game and gave us the momentum that we absolutely needed, besides that play from Mahomes to really start the game. There's just so many dynamic aspects that went into this huge win against the Raiders. On the next possession, Justin Houston gets a strip fumble on Carr, which leads to a Damian Williams rushing touchdown and put Kansas City up 21-0. And I think at that point we all knew that the game was over. But despite all of that, we still had work to do. The very next drive, Reggie Ragland steps in front of a David Carr pass for a near pick six, which is funny because you heard a lot of the players after the game give Ragland crap about the near pick six and not getting into the end zone. So I believe we went into the half up 21-3, and it was looking great. We're a strong second half team too, so it felt good. I really think at that point we all knew in Chiefs Kingdom that we had it locked down. So, moving on to the second half. With 10 minutes left in the third quarter, and on a drive that started on the 1-yard line, Mahomes launches an 89-yard touchdown to Demarcus Robinson for his 50th touchdown of the season. And what a way to, cap off your season as far as passing touchdowns. Your 50th goes for 89 yards on a play that Demarcus Robinson ran a streak, and he actually was not supposed to. And you heard that in that interview with Patrick Mahomes, that he actually busted his route. But if you look at the play, the defender stepped up on him, and when he did, Demarcus Robinson just had an alley down, the middle of the field, and he took it. It really was a heads-up play. So, early in the fourth quarter, Tyreek Hill took a handoff from Mahomes on the go-around from the 18-yard line and scored to seal the 35-3 victory over the Oakland Raiders. So that game was highly important, and what it did for us is it locked in the number 1 seed for the playoffs, a first-round bye, and home field advantage throughout. Now, with the playoff bracket the way it sits, it's looking pretty interesting for the Chiefs, and I feel like we have a good chance to walk on into the AFC Championship game. And I don't want to overlook any team. We can't ever do that. But right now, as it sits, it's either the Colts or the Ravens. So as we sit here in this position and we have a week to prepare for whichever team we're going to play, well, 2 weeks actually, they're two different style teams. So which one would you rather play? Would you rather play the Colts, who has the comeback player of the year in Andrew Luck, or would you rather play the Ravens and face that running attack that they switched over to here in the last 5 or 6 weeks? So either team, we have our hands full, but it's a home game, and I feel like we can pull out the victory between either team. Me personally, we just beat the Ravens in their prime, and I think that we haven't seen the Colts. And don't get me wrong, I'd love to beat up on the Colts in the playoffs. We have some revenge that we'd really like to take out on the Colts. I don't know. It's a toss-up. I feel like that we're good either way as long as we come out and play Kansas City Chiefs football. And Andy Reid devises a scheme that is just flawless, which in his history after a bye week, that is extremely possible. I mean, he is a stud for preparation and really making a solid game plan and transitioning in that game plan, when need be. So I look at our chances here in the AFC, and things are looking really good. I like the fact that the Chargers are on the side with the Patriots. There's going to be some interesting games. I can't really say what's going to happen in the AFC, but if you would ask me the AFC Championship, it is either going to be Kansas City and New England or Kansas City and the Chargers. So we will see how that scenario breaks down. But until then, Kansas City rest up, heal up. I believe that we will have an entire roster back for this playoff game. We shouldn't have any injuries. So it's going to be extremely exciting, especially with Damien Williams stepping up like he has. He really looked good in that Raiders game. Our defense looked great. We were just completely unstoppable. And with that, we'll go ahead and move on to the stats in this game. Patrick Mahomes went 14 for 24 with 281 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 pick. Damien Williams, 11 carries, 51 yards, and a touchdown. And honestly, it seemed like Damien had, a higher output than that. But when he touched the ball, he had some nice bursts and showed some really nice things that could lead into the future. We'll see what happens with Williams here in the playoffs. I hope that he explodes onto the scene and really just takes off because he's got fresh legs, and we can use that in the playoffs. Tyreek Hill had 5 receptions for 101 yards and a touchdown, which also he set the franchise record for receiving yards during this game. Hey, hats off to you, Tyreek. Heck of a season. Just keep it up. Demarcus Robinson, 1 reception for 89 yards and a touchdown. That was Patrick Mahomes' 50th touchdown of the season. Great job, Demarcus. That was a heck of a play. Travis Kelce, 5 receptions at 62 yards and no touchdowns. Anthony Sherman, 2 receptions for 19 yards. I want to touch base on that because one of them was a huge third down play on the first possession of the game for the Chiefs, and I believe that was kind of a pace setter for the rest of the game. Defense, what a day. Kendall Fuller had 9 tackles. Ward had 9 tackles. Hitchens was all over the field. Nelson was playing great. Justin Houston had 1.5 sacks. D. Ford had a sack. Reggie Ragland had the interception. It was just a great game. Daniel Sorensen had the pick 6. So it was all around great game from our offense and defense. Xavier Williams got in there with a half sack. So the stats look good. I would have loved to see Mahomes go over 300 yards, but hey, 50 touchdowns, 5,000 yards. Travis Kelce broke the single season record for the NFL for tight end receiving yards, as well as the franchise record. This has been a great year in Kansas City, and we look forward to a great playoff run. Chiefs Kingdom, we could not have got a better treat than Patrick Mahomes, and this is the future of football, not just Kansas City. I love our front office. We have done a killer job. All these pieces have fallen into place perfect, and now it's time to utilize everything we've done, everything that we prepared for, all the practices that they've put in, the two-a-days, training camps, studying film, every game, playing hurt. This is what it all comes down to, Kansas City. Get out there at Arrowhead Stadium. I'm going to be there. Let's cheer on these Chiefs, and let's bring this Lombardi Trophy to Kansas City, because just like Big Red says, and most of anybody in the Chiefs organization, Chiefs Kingdom deserves this Super Bowl victory. And we know that the Chiefs are going to do everything they can to make that happen. We have the quarterback, we have the specialty players, we have the defense. If the defense continues to do what we're doing, we are unstoppable in the playoffs. Kansas City, I hope you have a great week. And hey, the next episode, I feel like I'm going to be talking about Patrick Mahomes being elected the MVP of the league. So, with that being said, Happy New Year's, Kansas City and everyone. I hope you have your resolutions out there. I hope they follow through with them. I hope you have a great 2019. What an incredible way to start 2019. Back-to-back-to-back AFC West Champs, number 1 seed in the playoffs, home field advantage, and first round bye. Let's go, Kansas City. Let's get this done. This is the Richard Smith Show, where we talk about all things Kansas City Chiefs.